Hello, and welcome to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate, your commercial real estate broker in the Mid-Willamette Valley. Call Shelley Henderson at 503-881-7399. On the web, copperrockrealty.com. Join Boson Hub Digital Development in support of CASA of Lynn County. Court-appointed special advocates stand up for children. Become a CASA volunteer today. Learn more at lyncasa.org. Independent Merchant Brokers, affordable pay card processing solutions for your business or nonprofit organization. Call today at 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. The Arbor at Avamere Court in Kaiser Memory Care and Avamere at Albany Assisted Living. Arbor at AvamereCourt.com or AvamereAtAlbany.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Statewide experts in luxury home sales, farm and ranch, commercial, business sales, and land developments. On the web, dore.llc or call 541-250-1065.
And now, your hosts for The Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Ta-da! Here we are. Hello, Scott. I can't hear you, but other than that, you look great.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know why.
There you are.
It's, the microphone, StreamYard mutes the microphone when we're playing those intro videos. Mine didn't come back. I don't know what it is, but doesn't matter. Hey, that's us, Russ and Scott.
Technology, right? Yes. We are here live, Russ and Scott on The Experience Local. And you know what, everybody? We're here every week on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time or 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time. And depending on which local you are in today, I am here in the Willamette Valley. Scott is in the local Waco and Texas area. And so grateful that you've joined us today. It's going to be a blessed and amazing day because it's Monday, Scott. And you know that I love Mondays.
I know it's not that weekends and holidays are bad, but they do get in the way a lot of the fun things that we get to do, which is I get to hang out with Russ every Monday, every Wednesday, occasionally on a Thursday afternoon for Russ Reels. And people can learn all about these different shows by going to our website, local.theexperience.video, and just put that into your browser, click enter, and that will give you a link to links to our YouTube channel, to the various shows that we have, books that Russ and I have written, to our LinkedIn profiles, and there's even a link that you can click if you would like to support this show financially. We're just offsetting some costs. We have got, looks like everybody, there's some hosting costs, there's some different access things. Most importantly, we have Ever in the background, and Ever is doing so many things for us. She puts together the graphics, she loads all the things up. She's always there commenting. And so if you would like to support us and support Ever, then click the link.
Absolutely. I'm telling you. Well, it's interesting because we love what we do and we would do it absolutely for free, except for there's a cost to everything you do. And because of you, the sponsors and the listeners that support us, we are able to continue to do this. I was talking with a financial expert this morning on Marketing with Russ before this about how time is money. Every time you spend some time somewhere in your life and business, it costs money. And so it's important to make sure that you're bringing value with that. And that's why we love this show. We get to bring so many people of great value. Like Scott says, we have the most amazing guests here on The Experience Local for you. And so, yes, please don't forget to go to local.theexperience.video. All the information is there. But if you want to just jump directly to our YouTube page, you go to the experience.video, and that will take you directly to YouTube. And we would love for you to subscribe to that today. The other thing we really want you to do, if you would be so kind, if you're watching online right now, whether new or on replay, it doesn't matter, share and tag your friends. And I tell you that if you're watching even on replay, this sits on LinkedIn and YouTube forever, Facebook for 30 days. You can share this out. You can still connect. So many great things you can do. And that's how you build community, right, Scott?
Absolutely. And our sponsors are part of our community. So we thank each one of our sponsors for supporting this show. And it is a tangible thank you. And so thank you to Copper Rock and Bosun Hub, who is supporting CASA of Lynn County, the Arbor at Avamere Court, Avamere at Albany, Independent Merchant Brokers, and Discover Oregon Real Estate, all fabulous companies. And it was funny, Russ, because I got the bill from StreamYard, and I gave them a thumbs up, and they said, "Well, that's cool. You still owe us money."
It's interesting how that works. And I'm really hoping. Last bill that I got, they had grandfathered me in. So I'm really hoping it stays that way. I do have to pay. I still have to pay, but it's like not as quite as much as it is for something. So anyway, that's a whole side note. Listen, we love this show because it's all about believers in business. And I love to highlight local business, putting your money back into our local economy, people who love the Lord, like Mr. Matt Miller, who's going to be with us today, and people that love their families and all that go with that, and the dynamic between all those things. And Scott, I think we should just get Matt in, get the show started.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry, so let's get some tips.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, Russ. Hey, Scott. Good to be here today.
You have some of Miller's Barbecue. I'm going to tell everybody, amazing food. And I've had some good barbecue, and there's other good barbecues. There are, but I'm telling you, Matt's is just an amazing. I've had several opportunities to eat his food, and he is a board member and involved in Kicking Cancer, which I love. But I don't want to give it all away here, Matt, but I just want to say that at all those events, he's always catering. So it's wonderful, the food that he has there. So, Matt, listen, let's just back up. I'll get too far ahead of myself here. Let's ask, who in the world is Matt Miller? What are you up to? Give us a little intro.
Yeah. So, as Russ said, my name is Matthew Miller. I'm the owner of Miller's Barbecue here locally in Salem, Oregon. We serve all over the Willamette Valley, but we also Oregon and Washington. So it's been kind of fun to travel and expand my reach a little bit. But a little bit about me. Started Miller's Barbecue in March of 2022. So post-COVID, I lost my corporate job and was trying to figure out, what am I going to do? What do I want to do? And I catered an event for my church where we had Justin Martin from Duck Dynasty as a guest speaker. We had about 530 guys show up for it. I cooked brisket for that. And a gentleman who was at that event said, "Man, your food is really good. You're great at what you do. Have you ever thought about starting a business?" And I'm like, that's not for me. And so I prayed about it for a while. And it was really interesting. I woke up on a Saturday morning. It was 5:30 in the morning. And I just had that heavy weight on my chest. You know, sometimes when God just sits on you for a moment and says, "No, you need to look into this." So I woke up and I said, "Okay, God, I'll look into it." And so I started researching and decided, you know what, I can do this. I could start a catering company. I have $700 in my bank account. Let's go for it. And so I woke my wife up about 8:30 in the morning, and I was super excited. I said, "Hey, I think we can do this." And she's kind of just like, "What are you talking about?" And so I explained everything to her, and she said, "Okay, tell you what, you have a severance package that's paying you till the end of May. This is middle of March. You have till the end of May to make a profit. Otherwise, we got bills to pay and you got to get a job." And I said, "Okay, I think I can do that." So I immediately joined the Salem Chamber of Commerce. I began networking, meeting other businesses, and sold nothing in March, nothing in April. Had a week off at the very beginning of May that we had already had a trip paid for and planned for a vacation. Still at that point, hadn't sold anything. And then I get a call while on vacation, sold a lunch for 10 people. And by the end of May, we did 13 catered events.
That's
and so
amazing.
God just opened the
That's
doors,
amazing.
provided a way for me to be able to start a dream and
So
follow that vision.
We often say that you're not an entrepreneur if you don't feel like throwing up at least once a day. First of all, you know, you're afraid you're going to starve, right? Because you have no business. Then you feel like throwing up because you're wondering, how am I going to serve all these people who want meals from me? And when you guys took off on that vacation, I'm thinking your stomach had to be churning, just going, why am I leaving town at this point? But God honored the fact that you were indeed taking care of your family by honoring your family by actually going on this the vacation that was already paid for, and not begging out, because could have happened. But I want to step back a moment because you mentioned that you started this, or you got this idea by feeding 500 people.
Yeah.
You don't just wake up one morning and go, oh, I've got a Traeger and a couple of Webers, I guess I could feed 500 people. How did you get started with that? Because this has to be more than just a hobby of some sort, or maybe it's a deep hobby. I don't know.
Well, so I started at a Christian camp in 2015. I was working as caretaker at Drift Creek Camp. And when my first day on the job, they said, oh, by the way, part of the responsibilities for your role is to smoke the meat for the kitchen. I was like, cool. I have never done that. I've never used a smoker. And they said, oh, don't worry. It's easy. Here's some instructions for you to follow, some recipes that a former guy wrote up. It's not hard to do, so just follow these. And the more I started doing it, the more I fell in love with it. Living out at Drift Creek Camp, I was able to get my first deer. So I started hunting, caught my first salmon. And so I started playing with the smoker, putting different meats on there, fish, and I fell in love with smoking food. And so as that grew, I started getting more connected with my local church here in Salem. And so I began doing some of the barbecues for men's ministry and birthday parties for people, where I'd bring some meat or some mac and cheese that I smoked on the grill, just different things. And then when we were planning that event, it was actually supposed to happen the year COVID happened. We had it planned. We had it all scheduled. Justin Martin was going to come. And one week to the day prior to our event happening, the governor announced the shutdown, and we had to cancel our event. And so it became something that we continued to plan, continued to get ready for. But it was one of those questions: how am I going to cook 22 briskets for 500 people when I have one little Traeger Junior smoker that'll fit one brisket? And so I started thinking of, who am I going to call? How many Traegers do I need to borrow? And I happened to be on Facebook Marketplace, and I found an offset 250-gallon propane tank smoker up in Bellingham, Washington. And a guy was just trying to get rid of it for $750. So I called the guy up and I said, hey, is this still available? He said, yep, it's still available. Come on up. And so I drove up there, picked it up, and brought it back down to Salem. And I bought it specifically for this cook. Again, not planning I was going to start a business, needed it to be able to pull off a big cook for the church. And I was like, I could use it for multiple events as we go down the road. Well, so I did.
There you go. Well, God is always ahead of you, and he's always got things planned out that we don't even know about. I bet with my friend D. Scott Smith, months before COVID hit, and I started my business, and God had put all the pieces in place for me to roll right into my business, not even knowing I was going to need that, when all that hit. So I'm just so thankful for your obedience and all that you're doing. And God has definitely honored, Matt, all that you're doing with your business and how you're serving him with it as well, and with your voice. Give everybody a little snippet. You love to sing. How long have you been singing?
Started singing when I was a kid. I don't know, probably 7, 8 years old. But when I went to college, I graduated high school, sang in 3 choir groups. I also played musical instruments, and I decided I don't want to keep focusing on woodwinds or strings. I really want to focus on voice. And so I went to college to study music ministry at Northwest Nazarene University, minor in opera, but vocal performance as my focus. And so I started taking voice lessons, started singing in operas, and I really just fell in love with singing.
That's awesome. Let me just follow up, Scott, on
Yeah,
that and
go
say,
ahead.
so Matt, have you used that in worship ministry and all that? My daughter also got a degree in worship ministry and is actually a full-time worship pastor. And I've always been gung-ho about, encouraging my kids to do what they're passionate. And both my kids are in music, which has been a blessing. But have you been able to use that? I know you've got your business here, but have you been able to lead worship and do things as well?
I have. So I was on the worship team for Salem First Baptist for a couple of years, singing during the transition of one music pastor to a new music pastor. And then with our music pastor, Nathan Collins, I've sang with him for a couple of years. Granted, starting the business, it makes it a little bit hard to get to church every Sunday and to be a regular participant in worship. So what I started doing for quite a while right here at Miller's Barbecue is we would do a monthly worship night where I'd pull out my keyboard, pull up some worship songs, and just gather business owners to worship together, but also pray for our city, pray for our community, pray for individuals who needed prayer. We actually had a lady come from the apartment complex right outside the restaurant, and she said, "My son's getting out of prison. I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm trying to be sober. I really want to get back into church." And she just walked in one day and we got to pray for her and just worship. And she comes back all the time. And so I try to help them out, whether they need a soda or whatever it is, just to keep loving on them and keep giving them some of that good faith.
I like the singing pitmaster. I think that's
Yeah.
that's a good ministry in itself, serving multiple needs for folks. So you sang at First Baptist Church, and
I did.
That was my my best friend growing up. Mark Hankey. We knew each other from junior high school, played football together, got involved in mischief together. And we ended up marrying. We were roommates in college, and we married roommates. So his wife and my wife are great friends. So yeah, good family, good to be involved there with First B. So we often talk about how you integrate your faith with work and your family. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So one of the things that I love that I get to be a part of and that I get to help host is a weekly Bible study right here at the restaurant. So every Thursday morning at 6:30, we have a group of guys that just come together. We're all from different churches, different walks of life, some business owners, some employees, but we just get together and we study the Bible together and we talk about our faith. And what's been really neat is we're starting to see people walking through that know we're having a Bible study, that respect the conversation that we're having. And a few people actually from the customers have actually chimed in, "Hey, could you guys pray for me for this or pray for that?" And so it's been really neat to let people see that, yes, I'm a believer. I don't run a Christian organization, but people know my faith. And one of the things I love when I come in early in the morning, before my employees get here, I'll crank on some worship music or I'll crank on Josh Groban. And so when you talk about that singing pitmaster, I'm usually in here worshiping or singing or doing something while I'm working. So my employees love being able to walk in the morning and the atmosphere and the mood is just uplifted. And so what's been neat about that is majority of my employees are actually all Christian. And it wasn't a requirement. It wasn't something I looked for, but God provided the right people to work for my organization to be a light.
That is amazing. I am still working out the details to be able to come to some of those Bible studies because of the way my schedule works. But, it is just such a blessing how you are integrating all that you're doing with community, with your faith and all of that. And you talked about your wife, you know, how she's an integral part of all that. I know you have a young family. Is your whole family getting involved with what you're doing? How's that working?
Yeah. So I am recently divorced. So my wife did decide that this was not the direction she wanted to go. So that's a fairly new development. But I take care of a 68-year-old full-time who lives with me. She's lived with me for 7.5 years. And she got saved. Her mom at 97 years old got saved.
Wow.
Her mom lived with us full-time as well till she passed of cancer last year. But Kathy loves being involved. She'll come to some of the pop-up events that I do, and she talks to the customers. She'll take their orders. She loves just being a part of Miller's Barbecue. She has made the comment recently that she thinks that her body is getting too old to be able to do it all the time, but she doesn't want to miss out. She has that fear of if I'm not involved, I might miss something. And so oftentimes you'll come down to the cafe and she'll just be sitting on a couch and she'll be talking with kids or talking to customers and just be here versus being at home. And so that's been really fun to do that with her.
And I have eaten at your facility there because you're in the DHS building, right?
We are.
And so you have a pretty good meeting space. So I've been to some alignable events there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we did meet actually there face to face. So you're able to use your space for community events as well.
I am. I try my best to accommodate. So we actually host the monthly Gideons meeting. So the local chapter of the Gideons here in Salem, they come every month on a Tuesday night and they do their camp meeting. We've hosted the state's Gideons meeting. We host Salem Ham Radio Club. They come and use our space on a Tuesday night for their monthly meeting. So it's been really nice to be able to be a space that, hey, the restaurant might not be open, but we can still provide food. We can provide you the space. And that way you can host and not have to pay for it. And it's something that I don't charge groups to be able to just come and use the space.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That is simply amazing. I'm telling you, you know, having that kind of ability to bless others and bring the people that you want to be around together, because we all go through challenges, we all go through life, and it's nice to be surrounded by other people focused on what God's doing in their life and all of that. We're getting close to wrapping up, but we have a few more minutes, and I wanted to give you another opportunity to make sure to let people know, you know, give the events you already gave that you're doing currently, and then how people find out more about whether doing an event in your space or having you come out and do an event for them locally. How does all that work?
Yeah, so I have an event coming up at Riverfront Park. It is on August 15th and 16th, and it's with the River Church. It's their big summer bash. We're going to be selling barbecue down there. So would love to see you guys. Friday night's going to be from 4 to 10. Saturdays all day, 10 to 10. And we'll be there serving up some barbecue. But otherwise, if you want to come in, our restaurant is open 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And we're at the Capital City Business Center at 4600 25th Avenue. Also, if you're looking for catering, you can email me at millers.bbq.salem@gmail.com. We serve groups of 2 up to 800. And so I've done events of all kinds. And then you can also just give me a call if you just want to talk. I mean, if you want someone to listen, you need somebody to bounce some ideas off of, or you're struggling, because I've got a couple shirts I love to wear that say you're not alone. My phone number is 541-971-0789. And I'd love to just be an ear for you.
So we got Matt Miller of Miller's Barbecue. We got all that contact information there. You've talked about brisket, salmon, venison. Tell us, what's your favorite thing to cook, and what's the secret recipe? Go ahead and share that with us now.
Yeah, well, my favorite thing to cook is brisket. The secret to cooking a good brisket is making sure to take the time. A lot of people try to rush it, or they forget how long it takes, and so they turn the heat up and it doesn't quite come out as tender. You have to allow it the time. And so I just do a simple rub, and you guys can all buy it from the store. Garlic, onion, salt, pepper, smoked paprika, and a little bit of white sugar for the binder. So nothing super secret, simple ingredients, but it's taking that time is what the magic is.
It still takes a pit master to make it good. I guarantee that.
Well, I can tell you, having had that brisket, I think the last event that I was at, Matt, that you were catering, I went back 3 times for brisket, actually. There was a lot there, and I thought, what a shame to let any of this go to waste. And the beautiful thing for me is being a diabetic, type 1 diabetic, I can eat brisket till the cows come home because meat is basically
there won't
zero.
be any cows coming home if you keep eating brisket, though.
That's right. That's right. The cows will quit coming home. But the food is so delicious. So I just am so grateful for you, Matt, and all that you're doing and how you're reaching out in your community and how you are blessing other people. I want to give you one more opportunity to give the dates of your Bible study, of your prayer meeting, and of your restaurant and all that. We're putting it up on the screen as well, but I want people to hear that because I want people to really reach out. Also, we have it on the screen, but give your phone number one more time as well.
Yeah, so our Bible study happens Thursday morning at 6:30 in the morning right here at the cafe, and it's for men to just come and gather. We're about to start a new book called Fathered by God, really allowing men to understand some of the things that maybe your dad didn't teach you that God has for you to learn, or the lessons he has for you. So we're about to dive into that book right here at the cafe, 4600 25th Avenue, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can always call me at 541-971-0789.
That is so awesome, Matt. Thank you so much for being here today with us. We're going to have you back on again at some point. I just love, when we share and not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ and all that we do, good things happen. And so thank you for being a blessing to us and our listeners and viewers today. And we're going to say goodbye on screen, but hang tight in the green room. We'll be right with you.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Well, Russ, you can go get another helping of brisket.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, it is so good. So good. I do love that because I love meat. And the fact is, sometimes the sauces, you got to watch a little bit, but meats are basically 0. So that's beautiful for me because I love it and I can eat a lot.
I have a friend that he and his wife are both on the carnivore diet. And so it's just meat, just meat, no carbs. And he's lost 20 pounds, feels great. Yeah. So it took a little while for it to kick in, but basically it's just a protein diet.
And you can eat lots of it, and that's a good thing. So you don't starve to death. So I love that part. So Scott, as we wrap things up here, any last words about things before we go today?
Well, I'll just tell people again, support your local businesses, right? They're providing jobs, they're doing input into the community, providing value. When you have a choice, sometimes it costs a little more. I guarantee you it's worth it because if those local businesses go away, it's going to put a huge hole in your life. So support local.
Oh my goodness, for sure. And you had brought this up before, but speaking of local business, don't forget to subscribe and to bless our sponsors. And we're just so thankful for them. It makes a big difference to be able to do this local show and have local sponsors. Mm-hmm. And so thankful to everybody throughout the Willamette Valley for sponsoring us and all that we're doing. Don't forget, we're here every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time. And it's time to wrap this thing up, but we're so thankful you're here. We'll see you next week. Remember, enjoy your life and enjoy
the local experience.
There you go. See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.